Make sure you fuel. Alright guys, it's time. Are you ready? We woke up at like 5:30. I was having some mild contractions, but we're an hour and 40 minutes from the hospital, so we decided to just go this morning. They were like 7 minutes apart-ish, and they're super mild. They're still really mild and spread out. We went to breakfast, we went to Target, and now we're just gonna go to the hospital because it's a gloomy day and there's nothing else to do. So hopefully once we get there, things get rolling. We will see. I was already 4 centimeters dilated yesterday when I went to the doctor, and so we'll just go and try to work a baby out.
That's the question I was gonna ask.
That is our beautiful view. The baby, Mommy? Is that your baby? Nice, that's your baby. Oh my goodness, Be gentle, give her tickles. You give her tickles? Oh, so excited. Oh, get her feet. Oh, does she have stinky feet? Smell it. Alright, I just wanted to get on here and quickly tell Murphy's birth story. I know it's been 6 weeks already, which is crazy. I'm recording this today because it's the first time I've had time. They're both asleep, and so I'm going to bust it out really, really fast because I'm sure it won't last long. But, so at 40 weeks, I had my doctor's appointment, and my parents had been in town for almost a week already. And so she asked if I wanted to do a stretch and sweep, and I said yes because
wanted to get the ball rolling. I was feeling anxious with everyone just waiting for me to give birth at home. And so we did a stretch and sweep and went home. No contractions, nothing. I was like, oh my gosh, this baby's going to be in here forever. So the next morning, Dylan got up to go to work around 5:30, and I felt like the slightest contraction. Like, the thing with round 2 is like, you know what you're looking for, you know what it feels like. And I knew as soon as I started feeling contractions, I wanted to head to the hospital because we live an hour and 40 minutes away. And when I was at the doctor's, I was already 4 centimeters dilated when I was at the doctor's office, which to some is like active labor, but I was not in active labor yet. And so I had a feeling, I was scared that I would go into labor really quickly and give birth really quickly, and I didn't want that to happen because we had a long drive to get there. So at 5:30 a.m. I felt my first contraction, and then when it actually happens, you're like, is it real though? Like, is it real? So I had slight contractions like every 7 to 10 minutes. They were not painful at all, just like a mild period cramp, but I went ahead and got up and said, you know, this is it, like they're coming. And so we headed into the hospital around 6 a.m. We actually just drove to Lexington, which is where I gave birth. I didn't want to go into the hospital until I felt like farther along because I didn't want to be stuck in there all day. So we went to breakfast at First Watch, we went to Target, we got some snacks, but it was a rainy, ugly day. And so we're like, there's nothing else to do. So probably around like 10 or 11, we headed into the hospital. When I got there, I was like, I'm in labor, kind of. I was not in any sort of pain at all. They were just coming very sparingly. Like, sometimes they wouldn't come for like 20 minutes or so because I was like distracted and there's a lot going on. And so they had me in triage for like probably an hour and a half, around there. It was a really long time. They had a whole bunch of women come in at once. We waited in there for a while. I don't think I was very high priority because I didn't seem like I was in a lot of pain, which was totally fine. But when they checked me at the hospital when I got there, I was 6 centimeters dilated. So I was like, I just couldn't believe I wasn't in more pain because I was ready to get an epidural with my last pregnancy at 4 centimeters. And this time, just nothing. Like, I knew what they felt like. I was breathing through them, but like they were not that painful. So anyways, we finally get into our room. I'm not sure what time it was. It was a big, beautiful room with windows. I was so happy. They had my yoga ball ready. Like, they followed my birth plan to a T, which just felt so good. They didn't hook me up to anything. I didn't even need to have an IV, which I was so happy about. That's my least favorite thing because then when you go to breastfeed afterwards, your IV's in your arm. It's in the way. I hate it. I had just my nurse and my midwife, and I loved my midwife. She was the same one who did my stretch and sweep, and you don't get to pick which midwife you're going to get. It's just whoever's on call, so I was so happy about that. And we just wrote it out. So once we got into the hospital room, Dylan and I played cards. We watched Bruce Almighty. We just wandered about the room. I never laid down in the hospital bed because I don't like laboring sitting down. So I just stood at the window, you know. Every time a contraction would come, I would just breathe through them. I was timing them to like just see when they were getting closer. And then I had intermittent fetal monitoring where they come in every 30 minutes and they check the baby's heart rate and then they wait for a contraction and check the baby's heart rate. So that was just really, really nice. And it was just so calm, so chill. We were just eating, having snacks, hanging out. And I was bouncing on my yoga ball. Every contraction that came, I would try to like move my body, whatever felt good to get baby into position. And then around 2 o'clock, I could feel they were getting stronger, they were getting more intense. And I was like, I think I want her to check me again. But when she came in, she was like, do you want me to break your water while I'm in there? And I was like, I was very nervous because I knew if she broke my water, like, game on, like this is gonna hurt, here it comes, like, oh, I'm so scared. And I also knew though that like it was almost time because they were getting really intense. I wasn't really able to talk through them anymore, and it was time. It was about that time. And so I was like, okay. So I laid down in the hospital bed. That was like the first time I laid down other than when they would check the heart rate. And she broke my water, and immediately I was like, okay, like I need to poop or I need to push a baby out. So I got up off the side of the bed and just like stood like leaning over the bed. and just moved my body to the contractions. They were so painful. Like, she must have just shot out once the water broke. I think it was only 4 contractions until she was out, and they were so painful. I found it so much more painful this time around than last time. Last time I pushed for an hour and 45 minutes, but I felt no pain at all because I was just happy to be pushing. I was on my back, just, it took forever. I'm not saying that it was better by any means. I'm just saying this time, I felt that girl in my pelvis, every shoulder as it came out. And so I felt her move down, and then her head was sticking out for a little while, but not the rest of her body. And my body like wasn't sending me another contraction to push her out. She's like, all right, we're gonna have to push her out. Like, she's turning purple. She's been down there a while. We're gonna have to, you know, push her out here. So then I gave one last push, and Dylan got to catch her, which was so much fun. So Dylan and my midwife were on the floor. Dylan caught the baby. There was only 3 people in the room, which was so nice. They had my nurse that I had the whole day, my midwife, and then someone who came in to help like wrap the baby up, put their hat on and stuff. And that was it. It was the most calm, chill day in birth. Like, she came out, I got to hold her immediately. Like, she was under my leg because I gave birth standing up, so I had to like pull her through my leg because she was still on my umbilical cord. And I just held her there on the ground, and it was just so sweet and so beautiful. And I just got to do skin to skin with her. I got up on the bed. We waited till her umbilical cord was completely white, which was amazing. Last time they only let me wait 30 seconds, which was so annoying. And then Dylan cut the umbilical cord, and then my placenta delivered, which was amazing because last time my placenta didn't deliver, and I had to go get a D&C and get it sucked out. And so this time everything just worked perfectly and flowed, and it was so beautiful, so awesome. She nursed right away. She's been great at nursing. She definitely has like, she's definitely more colicky than Roan was, but she's definitely an easy baby. Like, Roan, I fed to sleep for almost every nap, every time. He would fall asleep on the boob, but she doesn't really fall asleep on the boob, and she falls asleep with a pacifier. And she's beautiful. She's wonderful. We love her so much. Roan is adjusting well, kind of. It's gonna take some time. He's so sweet to the baby, but he just loves his mom, and he does not like sharing his mother, which we expected. But things are going well. I already have another video recorded of my first day at home alone with them. I just wanted to get this birth video out. I didn't get to record that much. I just like to be in the present moment. It's hard to care about recording things. At that time, we've got lots of beautiful pictures, which I'm so happy about. The nurse took all the pictures, and that's just so sweet. She was a photographer. She was in there getting those pics. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so happy. I had a beautiful birth. It was exactly what I wanted. They followed everything I wanted to a T. I went to the UK Midwife Center. A lot of people have asked who live in Kentucky, and then I delivered at the hospital there, and you just deliver with whatever midwife is on call. But it was wonderful, and we love our Murphy Lou, and I just can't wait to see who she will become. There's so many more things I could say, but I think I hear a baby crying, so I'll get this video up, and then we will move on and get all the other videos I already have recorded, edited, and up. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next time.